And yes, we are live. And now I need to find backup recording. Where is the Reaper? Reaper, yes, yes. We have a question. In the Christmas mood coming, is the Christmas mood coming? How did you decorate your house? The Christmas mood, dear Alexander, you clearly have not Googled what's happening in my company. If you're asking about the Christmas mood coming.
Christmas. I finally, first time in 7 years, I got a Christmas or New Year tree.
Mm-hmm.
I actually found a really cool place close to my house. It's essentially a tree farm. You go there. They have small, I don't know what is the name, but it's a tree farm plus some, like small, like a small train for kids, some entertainment, like small, like some sweets selling there. So you go to this tree farm, you pick a tree and you cut it yourself. Then you give them this tree to folks there. They shake it, wrap it, put a stand. And you can go home with it, which is pretty cool because they are like different trees. You can pick whatever you want and grab it home. I think it was a really interesting experience to me. So already brought it a week ago and put all stuff on that.
Oh, nice. Interesting. This was a bonus story for you folks who came to the live show and not the recording. Let me start clicking the button and start the recording. And 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, nope, no. Now 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Non-Intuitive Beats podcast, brought to you by the Leaders Club that you're also part of, but if you're listening to us, do consider elevating your club membership by joining Discord. And I see probably more people joining, asking questions. And today with the virtual studio with me, here we have Dmitry Mananikov. Say hi to people.
Hello everyone.
And as usual, the annoying voice is me, Slava Kovalevsky. And for everyone who listening and the recording, Dima had a bonus story that was only shared in live. So next time, go to YouTube channel that we do have and listen us live. We have pre-show and time to time we do have a post-show. Not always. Oh, my friend, how was your week?
It was, because I'm not working right now and spend time with a kid, it's like all days feel pretty much the same, but it's not bad. We try to get out and do some stuff. So I would say it was calm, besides lack of sleep. What about your week? If you can.
I obviously, it's not a secret about things that happening right now. Man, it's a roller coaster. As just Google Fox GM Cruise, what's going on. I, again, cannot say much. It's just still developing as we speak, a lot of stuff. I really cannot say much right now. Not that I probably can say some of the things. As usual, I don't know which are those. And each time when we're speaking about cruise, I saying, okay, I will go research what I can share, and next time I will share. And next time something else happens, and I still don't know what I can share, what I cannot. Let me put it this way. I think that the time frame where you might expect the biggest amount of news about my company where I proudly working have passed, and this is as frequent news as you probably would expect to see, to hear during these days. That's all I can say right now.
You can't talk about cruise, so it should be me like speculating and coming up with crazy stories, and you can't confirm or deny them. Like cruise fire a lot of people or laid off a lot of people, and that's what I know from news.
Yeah, we did have around a layoff, and that's part. That's part not the secret. The cruise did have a layoffs, so that is there. But that's probably all I unfortunately can say right now. I want to share one thing. I am still in the company. I am actually extremely optimistic about the company's future, and let me leave it at that. I again committing to see what I can or cannot share by our next show, and maybe I will share more. But yeah, other than that, feel free to speculate, and I will not be able to confirm or deny.
Okay, I'm speculating. So Cruise get full self-driving, which doesn't need people maintenance or programmers. So now Cruise only keep CFO and CTO so they can cash all the money, and cars will drive themselves and fix themselves.
I can neither confirm nor deny your speculation. Oh man. Before jumping to a different topic, there is a comment in YouTube that I would love to quickly address. So it's because it's actually aimed at me. Hi Slava, why don't you visit GCB? Did you forget about us? GCB is for uninitiated Java coding bootcamp. So yes, I were not visiting students in the Java coding bootcamp for quite some time. I have not forgot, folks. We actually trying to refactor the academy right now. Many of the changes will be coming, but just I really apologize. The academy works in hours that is so hard for me to accommodate. I used to wake up early in the Sunday to come and speak with the students, but it will start taking a toll of me. The toll was just huge. And it's not type of the toll that, you're waking up once on the Sunday and at some point I figure out this is my only day to have any type of sleep. And when you're doing it once, you don't realize it. But at some point, after a year or so, yes, it hit me really hard. I needed to just check out and completely delegate to Sergey, who is running the whole company right now and the whole Java coding bootcamp and overall courses. So no, I still remember I'm trying to figure out the best way to work with the students, so apologize. And as people saying GCB is very hard, yes, that's pretty much intentional. There is a reason why it's called bootcamp and not become a senior developer in 10 days. Yeah. Okay, with that, maybe we'll come back to GCP right in the end. I will actually add the topic. But my friend, I think you added the first topic. Why wouldn't you start?
Yeah, it's not really, actually somehow related maybe to our profession. So the news is a couple of days ago, actually it started, I think, in November, Voyager 1. And Voyager 1 is a spacecraft sent to space, I think like 40 years ago. I don't know, like last previous century.
Okay.
So they sent it like very far away, and I don't remember exactly initially what was the idea. I think it was meant to check with a few planets, but then they just sent it to outer space. And it travels, I think initially it was like 5 years mission, but it's now like 46 years. And it's traveled already 24 billion kilometers. Wow, it's like really huge. It actually passed heliosphere border like 10 years ago and still traveling. And last month I had issue with it. They tried to fix it, programmatically, because it doesn't really send data, which is like, it still operates, but communication part doesn't work well. And it seems that right now they like almost lost hope. They still try to fix it, which is insane, like fixing something that really far away. I think it's really cool. Voyager 1 was the first like spacecraft sent that far away, and it actually made really cool photo called pale blue dot. It's really famous photo of Earth from really, really long distance. And it actually shows how far, like how small we are in space. I think it's really cool to appreciate like this technology and the fact that it's still working. I mean, like our websites like break down every month, and this thing like going for 46 years. I think multiple times they already changed software on it, like from remote to make it work. And I think it's really, really cool programmer works, like to make, like you only have one hit, you can debug, you can't restart, you can create a new instance in a Docker container. You have to make a software that you upload through billions of kilometers and it should work, because if it doesn't, you screw up. But yeah, maybe it's time for it to be silent and continue journey in a void.
You mentioned that we're making sites that doesn't work and constantly breaking. Without naming any names, because I'm pretty sure maybe I will invite that person to us the podcast. One of the highly recognized leader in the cruise, he used to be in the aerospace field. And his portfolio that he worked more than dozen years of each of the project consists of two projects. One, it was a famous that blew up because of the matrix versus non-matrix system. There was this rocket, I think it was rocket, blew up because empirical versus.
Yeah, I remember something like this.
Yes, that was obviously not.
I was sure that it was a joke. I mean,
no.
Why would you use imperial?
No, it was not. And his second project, I don't remember which one, was not exactly ready for that, also blew up. So that's the whole portfolio of the person, right? So true, the sites are not down as frequently, but nevertheless. And in aerospace, if we're looking at the SpaceX and what they're doing right now, especially with their new space vehicle, they're actually applying the exactly same model. And you have with not the Falcon Heavy, with Starship and with Falcon 9, the same model. They launching tons of the stuff that blew up until at one day they will launch thing that actually works.
I don't know. I'm very skeptical of this approach. I mean, it's not skeptical. It actually may work if you have enough resources to do it, because rockets are expensive, right? With things like Voyager, it was very expensive, like start back then, right? And sending something, so they couldn't screw up. They couldn't like send 10 of them with a different, versions of software. We'll see how Starship will go.
By the way, NASA, in my opinion, is still doing that crazy thing, that lunar mission that they trying to start. I forgot how it called, Artemis, right? Yes, that's the one. I think it's the one that's working right now. They already went to the moon, if I remember correctly, then went back without obviously human or anyone landing there. So the next mission will be land something on the moon without the human, and then after this human, this is more or less waterfall. This is waterfall with the same way how good old NASA was doing, but this is the last mission that NASA will build. After Artemis, nothing will be built by NASA, only by private companies. So this is the end of the era, and it's sad.
Do you know what is the reason they don't want government to spend money or something else?
Probably yes. It's my guess, and by the way, this is just really a guess. I have not looked at this more closely, but it's probably the same as with military, Lockheed Martin, for example. They infused money when it was so unprofitable in the non-government market, but now when you actually have a non-government private vehicle that's costly, more efficient, why not to use it?
Yeah, okay. So it means that besides NASA, there are companies like SpaceX and Virgin Galactics, I guess, and others that you can just, ask to compete, right?
Exactly, yes. And by the way, NASA choose Blue Origin for the first flight to Mars. NASA selected in February Blue Origin to launch Mars magnetic study mission instead of choosing the Elon Musk rocket vehicle. I probably should say vehicle. It's actually fun because the Blue Origin have not even reached orbit even once, and
I don't know, maybe just they found other, again, if NASA prefers to work this way, like when you plan everything like waterfall and then launch once, maybe they just like work better for them.
Maybe, or maybe this is exactly because so they want to have two competitors. Because Musk is further ahead, and they don't want to Musk to kill competitor. Like, why not? Because
makes sense.
now, if you will have only one provider for the government, the price will only keep going up. Hint to the F-35 and other fighters that only Lockheed Martin can do right now. By the way, comment from the YouTube. I really love falling asleep to Voyager stories. Do you know astronaut Vladimir Georgievich Surdin? Have no idea who that guy is. Have you heard the name?
Nope. I'm not really also like a fan of space and not really follow. But Mark.
I'm pretty sure both of us will stay up late when the next landing on the moon will be happening. I'm sure that at least I will be watching. Like yeah. Okay, where is the list of the topics? Let's go for the first one. I think it was mine further on the list. Oh yes. Okay, so preliminary on Christmas that it has not yet arrived. I got Nintendo Switch. for viewers, here is a Nintendo Switch, real Nintendo Switch. First of all, this is Nintendo Switch is a very good example how Costco, even though gives you discount, sells you everything with higher prices. So Nintendo Switch cost $350, I think. That's retail price right now.
Okay.
Now in Costco, they're selling you a bundle with $400. And everything is bundle. If you cost together, will so the Nintendo and everything else together will cost on retail more than $400 if you buy it separately. Mm-hmm. But so it's classical Costco. Do you want a discount, or you want actually to pay less money but get only Nintendo Switch without a discount? So, for example, in the 400, they give you a huge SD card. They give you online subscription for a year. They give you higher price case. They give you screen protector. So things that you will eventually get anyway.
I think it's important, right? Like, do you need these things or not? If you generally think, okay, I need these things. Especially before you buy it, because often they they use this like psychology, like, okay, they just like add this to more and more value and think, oh, it's a good idea, maybe I need it. But for many of them, if you need them before, it could be a good deal.
Yeah, but they're doing it constantly. I remember buying Roomba automatic vacuum cleaner, and they have i7 Plus. And the thing is, Roomba doesn't sell i7 Plus. They sell i7, i6, or i9. So just for the Costco, Roomba has introduced this middle layer that is higher than usual in the market. And no one actually knows the price of it, but it costs a little bit more than usual i7. It has more features, visible features that's actually absent in another one. So the Costco model is really interesting. But anyway, coming to Nintendo Switch, so I love this thing. I already played Zelda, Breath of the Wild, the very first one, and I installed Disco Elysium. That I start playing that. This is ideal platform for Disco Elysium.
Did they manage to make font readable on a small screen?
Oh yes, because screen is not that small. It's absolutely reasonable. Keep in mind that in latest director's cut or Final Cut, Cut Disco Elysium, they have everything vocalized.
Oh yes, it's vocalized. Yeah, I have it installed on PlayStation, but didn't play second time. So did you get far away in Disco Elysium or just started?
No, I just started because I just got this thing, and I, for now, still enjoying Zelda more, Breath of the Wild, and then Disco Elysium. But yes, this thing is wild. I realized how many crazy ports they did for the Nintendo Switch. Just imagine this. There is a Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch.
Usually very, very... Witcher 3 is fine, actually, but recently they ported Hogwarts Legacy, and it's not really good. Because they added a lot of loadings, because it can't really keep everything in memory. So.
Got it. Let me quickly at least...
Funny thing, I actually played Breath of the Wild on Steam Deck.
Ooh, was emulation of the Switch?
Yeah, it works very well. I mean, I don't like the game, so I didn't play it much, but it works.
You know, it reminded me Elden Ring. Like it reminded me Elden Ring through. It's
Oh yeah, the idea of discovering things.
Yep. Like monsters, completely different uncharted territories. You see something, you can get there. Like it's there are something that marginally better, but obviously Elden Ring is better in many cases. But also keep in mind that Breath of the Wild was so much older. It's so much before the Elden
But I
Ring.
also think it's different. Different fighting, different worlds, different narrative. I think Breath of the Wild has a bigger world than Elden Ring, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know details. But at least second one has a really huge world. And I didn't play much, but I was impressed with how they mix these elements. Actually, I was watching developers' diaries or something. They were talking about things they called chemistry. You know, there was like different interactions between objects with the gravity, time, and things. So they put a lot of thoughts to make this system works, and it's really impressive.
I bet it is. Out of the crazy ports there, you know, there is Wolfenstein. What else? I don't remember what else, but yeah, it's just pretty impressive system. Anyway, I like the form factor. Maybe Switch Deck would be a better option for me. I don't know, but I love this form factor. I love the exposure of the platformers that I cannot play other places. So far I'm enjoying it. The screen is amazing. OLED screen, really bright. I'm loving it.
I have a topic, but we can discuss it now. So I actually tried to use Steam Deck as a desktop PC. And it's surprisingly working, because for me it's still, you know, like it's like small tools that I can't really run something. But the reason why I did it, it's because I bought Foxhole game, and it actually requires mouse. Like some people try to play with sticks, but it's not really playable. It's intended to be with a keyboard and mouse, with a microphone, like with a chat and everything. And I actually connected to, and it actually works. Like I reduced graphics to like medium low, so I don't have any jittering. But it's actually pretty good. It has issues, for example, as my Intel MacBook, for example, if you attach dongles through USB-C and connect both external camera and external microphone, this one, it doesn't really work. I don't know what's happening, because my Intel MacBook, MacBook has the same issues. But what's surprising, I was able to play. Obviously, it has Linux with all Linux problems. Like it took me a while to connect Bluetooth keyboard, but once I get everything set up, it works fine. So yeah, I actually enjoyed Foxhole, and I found it's essentially like a MMO game with a like kind of World War II style, and it's actually interesting because there's so many things you can do. Today I was watching like 1.5 hour video on logistics, how you get materials, how you build weapons, how you deliver weapons to players.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's interesting because everything in this game. So for example, game has spawn points. When you die, you can respawn.
Okay.
When you respawn, you spend one resource on a base. Resource called like uniform or something. The thing is, this resource should be built by other players. If there is no resource, you can't spawn. So you have to like someone to actually craft these things to deliver to base so other people can spawn and keep fight. It was actually pretty interesting economy.
You know, there is something really interesting to this game. I would love to try I would love to try it, but unfortunately right now it's only Windows. I don't have Windows anywhere, and I don't want to spend too much time with hacking my macOS.
Yeah, if they will work on Whiskey with one click, it makes sense. Otherwise, it's just too much work for playing a game. I'll see. I will play it a while and tell if it's worth it or not.
Hopefully they will port it to something, but we'll see. Xbox, macOS, Nintendo Switch, any of these three, if they arrive, yeah, I would definitely play it. Okay. Let's proceed. I recently, last time I talked to you folks that BART have released the updated model on Gemini. So first of all, for folks of you that do not know the details, so there is a BART, which is an algo of ChatGPT, and there are models that effectively support this service. BART is a product, and the model called Gemini, they have 3 versions: Ultra, I think it's Ultra, Ultimate, Pro, and Nano. So the Pro is a middle layer, Nano going to work on the phones. Finally, something smart coming to the phone. This is the first promise that we will have a model that is quite capable that will be coming in the phone. And Gemini Pro is the one that's available on the BART, and they finally have released APIs. That's what I was waiting to. And the first thing that is surprised to me is how much it costs. It is crazy. So it's hard to actually put the number in it, and I will tell why in a moment. But keep in mind that Gemini Pro is not the top rank of the model. Theoretically, it should be in between GPT 3.5 and GPT 4.
Is it for retail, like customers, or it's like for business? Okay, can I go and buy it for myself?
Sorry, they have not released it in the sense that you cannot deploy it. This is just API. So yes, you can.
Yeah,
you
but
can.
They have API. I can.
Exactly. Yes. I have not played with it because last time when I was speaking about this topic, BART supported it. It was amazing. By the way, it is amazing. I highly recommend it. There is some shit where it doesn't work well, but if you, like me, have tried BART before, it's a day and night comparing to before. I still prefer ChatGPT 4 in many cases, but nevertheless, and I will tell more. But coming back to the price. So finally, they released it through the Vertex API. You can go to Vertex AI, Gemini Pro. But what was unpleasant surprise to me is price. So the way how it's priced right now is approximately 10 words input is 1 cent. And the output costs slightly more. So in GPT-4, you have a price model that says, here is amount of tokens. 1,000 tokens cost you 1 cent. And these tokens include both input and output. And roughly one word is 2 to 3 tokens. So on average, it's 2 to 3 tokens. So this means that with 1 cent and 1,000 tokens per cent, you can have 300 something words, both input, output, whatever. You can have one.
30 times costly?
It's 10, yeah, 30 times costs more. Yeah, 30 times more. And this costs you 30 times more if you compute calculating based on the input, because output actually 2 times more, 2 cents from the Gemini Pro. So yeah, it's very unpleasant. The price is.
I don't understand how they make this pricing. I mean, obviously they release new product, and obviously their only like main competitor is ChatGPT. And when they do it like with the price that many times more costly, like why? What they expect? Why would people use this Gemini?
So obviously I have no clue right now, but from the just general experience of many years in the cloud. They are not releasing this to public that has options even to use ChatGPT. This is more like, okay, you're the enterprise that your security approved using our cloud. Here is your enterprise ready endpoint, and you will pay as much as we will tell you to pay for this model. Okay. But it's compliance with, it has network routability to your VPN. It certifies for whatever you need, and here you go. So that's more or less. From the perspective of the big enterprises, ChatGPT is still a toy. I'm not speaking about the value, I'm speaking about enterprise readiness. It's a toy that you cannot use, cannot rely on. And obviously this will change eventually, but until then, why not to charge premium?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, another thing I want to mention about Gemini specifically is that there was a scandal. Have you heard about the scandal around Gemini demo?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen their demo, but I hear that they faked some part of it.
You know, as someone who works a lot in this industry, specifically AI related and LLM, when I watched the demo, it never even occurred to me that this could be a live demo. I never even thought that this is a live demo, because it's, you know, you clearly understand that they sending the request, sending the picture, getting it back, because you know the APIs. The API doesn't work like the way they describe it to. It can. So you can show something, wait, get the response. So the idea was that in the demo, the guy effectively showing to the model stuff, acting and describing, asking the model to describe what it's doing, and the model responds with the audio. All this can be built, but it requires tons of the work, because obviously model API input has a picture, it doesn't have streaming yet, it has a text, it has a picture. So theoretically you can build text to speech to text. Then periodically a decision maker that decide when to send images together with the text, and you can build everything. But it's so hard that, like, when they were showing, I thought it's very reasonable that they just showing to you that if they would send it to the model will respond this way, but it's not a live interaction with the model. Turns out that what not people were thinking. They were thinking that there is a magical box with this Gemini with whom you can lively interact and set feed of your video and feed of your audio, and it will be responding in the audio.
Well, audio already work in ChatGPT, right? Why not to expect that if Google makes such presentations, they also work with video?
In ChatGPT, there is an asynchronous interaction. You record audio and you send it to ChatGPT, it responds.
And it responds.
Yeah. Here they show the live interaction where they were sending feed of the video and audio, and Gemini was responding dynamically.
Yeah, I mean, they can say, yeah, obviously, what do you expect? But I would also be confused, right? Like, if you show me how it works, I expect it works the same way.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, it's Google being Google. They have not showed any product in the sense that they have not showed this demo and told you, oh, now you can go and use this demo here. They show it theoretically what you can build with the API of Gemini, which actually you can. So it was the thing that you cannot play with, you cannot try with. I honestly don't know how they leaked the information that was fake and staged. No, not the fake, staged. The correct way of saying it was staged, because the Gemini actually was replying this way, but it was not live. The surprising part of it was the fact that people surprised by this. That's really a surprising fact. I thought this was obvious. This is just how things are, and you know, if you try the API, you probably know what can be done, how fast, to what extent, and yeah, it's just hilarious. I would suggest everyone who haven't seen, go and Google Gemini Pro live demo and just look on it. The demo by itself is amazing, and yes, ChatGPT can do exactly that, what they're showing on the demo, but not live. You will have to build your own app to make it live exactly as they're showing it. Okay, how about we switch to one of your topics, my friend?
I'm trying to remember what was my topic.
One of them, for example, was Mistral.
Oh, I actually expected maybe you can talk about this one. So I get a lot of like messages and newspapers about this one. So it's a new model which is completely open source, and as they use experts. Essentially, I think it's 8 different LLMs inside. And when you get input, there's another LLM on top of them, decide which of underlying 8 should serve. I think they pick 2 and then process it. And the idea is it runs faster, but gives good results, better than ChatGPT 3.5. So I'm really curious to try to see how it works. And I hope maybe you already know about this and can talk more.
So first of all, yes, I'm familiar with the concept. This is actually a new concept for the open source, but not exactly new for the market, because if you look on the OpenAI, they switched to theoretically to multi-model approach for quite some time. The GPT-4 or GPT-3 is just a brand. Under the hood, theoretically, they're already using one model that decides which submodel should be responding to a request and then picking submodel. So there is no particular one model, so to speak. Again, no one knows, and obviously OpenAI is not open and have not been for quite some time. So, but
after all recent changes, they probably will never be open.
Oh yes, they were almost close. Now they're close for sure. But yeah, this is effectively the way to do it, and yeah, it's nice that everything moving in that direction. I don't want. This is a very good example of the innovation in the AI field recently, because for the last year or so and for the next foreseeable future, all the innovation will not be from the researchers. It will be from engineers that figure out the new creative way of using it. And this is a very good example. That reminds me the first days of image generation. When we just started generating image, a lot of the startups were just around how to use it, how to creatively combine the inputs and outputs. That's about it. Have I tried Mistral? No, I have not. So I don't have anything to say. Have you?
Not yet. Actually, I have another topic that actually kind of continues what you're saying about engineering. It's an application called Ava PLS. Essentially, that someone just bundled some few models in a nice macOS application. And I think that's what I was waiting for a long time. It's completely local. macOS M1 or like Apple Silicon supporting application that just provide you a chat with a LLM. No console tools, no finding models, no weird setups. You just like download one file as application, start it, and it works. It requires you to download model, but it's one click inside out. And I really, really like this type of software. Someone actually put an effort and just bundle it together. Because every time I set up like Llama or other tools, I really hate that I need to install some Python versions and my other tooling on macOS broke something else, and I need to download models from some random website or like patch some files. Like I really hate this process, but this one just works. So everyone who has a macOS, like MacBook or any Mac on a M1, M2, M3 and needs like local chat, this is it. This is how it should work. I hope they will add this Mistral model and other models. Like right now, like there for one-click install, they like have 10 models or something. Technically, it allows to install more, but I just didn't want to bother.
You know, this, first of all, thank you. I already forgot that I wanted to install it, completely forgot. But this reminds me that previews for our shows was generated before DALL-E 3 was generated locally on my MacBook, and for that I tried a bunch of the software for generating the picture that works in exactly the same way. I'm trying to recall what exactly I was using. I already forgot because, you know, time flies by. DALL-E 3 only was released and I already even forgot what are the similar things out there. But the idea is the same. There's so many applications that you can find in App Store that generating images and is give you one UI and then bunch of the models. You're downloading them and here you go. It's only said that I don't see Llama. I see that they have many of the models, but maybe some of the models do based on Llama. Maybe not. I honestly
don't have Llama. For Llama, there is all Llama application. It still requires some extra steps, but also pretty easy to use.
Oh, wait a second. Ava is built using following open source project. One of them a Llama CPP. So I would assume that one of the model that they are providing is Llama based model.
Oh, probably yes. I just didn't see Llama exactly because from what I see, right now they have built-in catalogs. They have Wizard, LM, Mistral Max, Zephyr, Aeroboros, Rocket 3B something. Names doesn't really tell me anything, but they have different sizes.
Yeah.
Maybe after we'll add more.
By the way, which one you suggest?
I just pick one that with biggest size.
Same
expecting it works big. What I like, and after it actually says it's in Hacker News, like I don't want this to be connected to anything. It's like local only. And it's true. It's not going to internet. Compared to, for example, I opened Discord like a few minutes ago and it started connecting to like tens of services, like completely different IP addresses. Why? Who knows? So I really appreciate when software doesn't use analytics or other stuff that I don't really want to share.
Yes. I agree. Sorry, I got distracted. We have one more comment. I have a question, and the question is in Discord chart. So I went to Discord to quickly look on the question. But I don't have too many answers. So the question is actually let's discuss it in the end. The question about students. So yes, without interrupting the flow about the AI after the AI, I promise we'll come back and discuss that. Thank you, my friend. I start downloading the model. It's in the process of downloading. Same idea as you are. Okay, what else on the chat model? Otherwise, I will move forward.
We can move forward.
On this topic of LLM, I got access to Grok. I might have told on the previous one, maybe not, I don't know, but I got access to Grok. This is such a funny LLM. So the first thing I do, I usually try my investment prompt. I take in prompt that's supposed to build future events and future suggestions. I gave it to Grok. Each time it was suggesting anything, it was Tesla in the beginning. Like, what are the main event? Oh, it's Tesla earning. Like, dude, there is no Tesla earning next week. No. It's Tesla earning. Which shares you want me to invest? Tesla, dude, it's going up. That was just hilarious. And below it would give some reasonable events, reasonable shares, but it always would start with Tesla. I'm pretty sure it's just coincidence. Okay.
Yes, of course. Or maybe some CEO with a huge ego decided to make it to influence his stock. Which is actually a pretty fun way to do it.
Yes, that's true. And probably actually even legal, because they're not doing it for the sake of influence directly. They're just bumping Tesla everywhere across all the conversation, including obviously about the stock price. Yeah, it was hilarious. But overall, I can say that the only thing I suggest using Grok so far, and for that specific reason, I actually do suggest to use Grok, if you want to do a search on Twitter. Twitter is hilariously bad in search. Twitter has cut off Google from their feed, so the Google doesn't do well in terms of searching across the tweets. So if you have a search request, Grok is the way. You're going to Grok, you asking the search, and it's usually provide you directly link on the tweets that it used to build the information that you ask. So from that perspective, I highly suggest to try Grok only for that. The rest, no. Like it's you clearly can see that it's LLM, and LLM, they just starting learning how to train it. By the way, I don't know if you have seen that hilarious joke that in some cases it was retweeted by official OpenAI account. That was the most funniest part. So there was a case when Grok answered that, sorry, I cannot answer your question because your question violates terms of services of OpenAI.
Oh, because I learned on OpenAI?
Not the learn, but because it violates terms of services of OpenAI. I think when you ask it which model you are using, it will tell you that it's most sophisticated GPT-4 that was trained by X.AI, and so shit like that it learned. So it's fun. It's just fun. You can see how early it is. But again, if you want to search on Twitter, that's just hands down. There is no alternative right now. Okay, so this is all in terms of the AI, I guess. I want last thing, actually no, not everything. I just realized one more topic around AI. I recently have learned about this company, Scale.com. Have you heard about Scale.com, my friend?
I heard, but I forgot what it is.
Okay, so you see, you actually knew more than I did, because I have not heard about them much, and turns out it's a huge deal. So it turns out that Scale.com is a company that one way or another helps to pre-create the data for the training. And they doing it at such a big scale that if you click on their customers, Jesus, site doesn't work. Oh yeah, I have to accept cookies. Okay, I rejected the cookies. So if you click on their customers, you will see no less than okay, Microsoft, Meta, GM, Toyota, Etsy, OpenAI. Yes, you would see what the cost. So even OpenAI using them for the training their data effectively. I have no clue how obviously this works, but to my best understanding, I have seen a bunch of the startup these days that's popping up that effectively creates intermediary where if you want to train data, let's say on the medical data or medical LLM, they providing you a bunch of the doctors online. Them, I'm not speaking about scale.com overall model. They providing you a bunch of the doctors on call that jumping and actually curating your data live. And eventually this company can and have potential to build their own model that will be in charge of curating the data. And at that point, it's really hard to compete with them. Because if you want to train, you have the best data you can find. And for that, you need some type of curation. And for them, again, OpenAI just one of the customers. You can find Meta, Microsoft, GM, Toyota there. So I'm really surprised that I just learned about them reasonably recently, but yeah, I now actually want to see if they're on what the site. Man, I'm using it once per year and constantly forgetting. There is a site, Zen. So there is actually many of them, but there is one that I really Equity Zen. Yeah, Equity Zen. This is a site where you actually can invest in companies that are pre-IPO. I wonder if scale.com is there. I want to check.
Yeah, you know, like it's the similar situation in manufacturing electronics. There are a few companies that build some things like, you know, like a haptic engine or like some memory slots, low voltage, or some condensators or screens like LG, right? And then everyone is using it. You just don't know about these companies. Like you don't hear about them often. For example, I recently was very surprised that Philips, you know, like that making like smart bulbs, they're actually making baby pacifiers, you know, like ones that baby sucks, like which is rubber. And I was very interested, like, okay, why Philips making them? Like apparently they have line, yeah, this one, and it's actually used by many hospitals in the US.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because you don't know. I mean, I know Philips obviously, right? But because they do electronics. But a lot of companies, they made so many items that we don't know that used in other places and other products. So I guess the scale.com falls in these categories. Like everyone is using it, but if you're not enterprise, you don't hear about it often.
Exactly. Yes. Anyway, let's quickly. I have one thing that I wanted to mention, and then maybe answer to a question in Discord. And the last thing that I have in mind related to Ledger. Do you, my friend, know what Ledger is, and are you using Ledger?
I actually have one somewhere, but I don't use it. It's a hardware store for keys, right?
Specifically for your cryptocurrencies. So it's a software plus hardware. So you can think about this as a Coinbase, but the Coinbase and any other services that allow you to buy, to sell, to operate your cryptocurrency, they usually store your private key in terms of wallet. And this wallet, so there is two ways. Either they just store it and you have a login password, or you store it, but MetaMask, for example, it's a Chrome extension. So if you have a wallet that's a Chrome extension and your key, private key, inside of the Chrome extension, so it's not easily, but if there is an vulnerability, they can extract it. So Ledger any Ledger effectively solve that problem. It's a hardware things where you have imagine Coinbase, but Ledger has its own own software that requires you to attach that specific hardware and only use it when private key in the hardware. So that's about it. I'm using it for all the main investment that I'm not touching most frequently. So if something that I want to keep it forever, so to speak, and forever growing, it is there. It is encrypted, so the hardware itself has a PIN code. So even if you lose it, Theoretically, people cannot easily decrypt it if you have strong pin codes on the device, of course.
How long is pin code?
I think it's up to 8 characters. I think.
Okay. Does it destroy data after you enter it a few times?
That part I don't know, honestly. That part I don't know. Yeah. I cannot say. He cannot really say. But to me, out of everything available on the market, this is still, in my humble opinion, the safest way to store your private key. The rest
what about remembering them?
Private key?
Yes.
Okay, the second safest way to remember. Yeah, that's.
Actually, there is a like way. Obviously, private key is long, but one of ways people do is they actually create passphrase, like long enough, but ones that you can actually remember, and then do some hashing algorithms like to make it a private key, which seems like reasonable for very something very secure that you need to remember until you forget your passphrase.
Obviously, yes. That remind me, there used to be a startup. I don't remember the name of the startup, and obviously it probably went under. But the whole idea of them was to provide you one password-like functionality, but it would actually hash the DNS name of the service to which you need the password with this one password. So effectively, for any site, you have your master password plus the URL of the site. Together, it will create a cache that will be constantly the same if you're using the same password and same URL. Mm-hmm. So in this way, you don't even store anything anywhere. You have algorithm, you have your master password, and you're just saying, for this URL, give me a password. I don't remember the name of startup, and obviously probably it went under. I don't think it exists, but it's a very simple idea. Anyone, I'm pretty sure, can implement
but then
it.
You need your password on a mobile application or slightly different domain.
True, you can implement your app that has Face ID, then stores behind the Face ID this password, and then doing stuff. I guess the idea and why they were doing so, even if you're doing it on a mobile stuff, there is nothing that synchronizes. So you don't have to synchronize anything. There is no DB at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, technically your master password will be stored behind the Face ID. So someone stealing your phone. But the idea that you're still decreasing.
That one I'm not worried much. No, I'm mostly like with these things, I like it, but then again, like site change URL, or you need to use it in a different context.
Exactly. Yes.
Remember, it's like also problems.
Constantly, okay, do I have the password to the website? And yes, did I use www in the beginning or not? And
exactly.
Yep.
And I feel like some companies, they have like multiple domains that use the same password.
Or you do need several accounts on the same website. Yeah, so there is many things why it might not work. But the reason why I even mentioned the ledger, my ledger suddenly dropped in the time it works with the battery. Like very noticeable. It's slowly becoming a USB stick that only can work when it's plugged into something.
But how do you use it without USB stick? Does it show something on it?
Oh yeah, it's actually have a pretty decent OLED UI on this picture, for example, you can see it. And so while UI by itself doesn't show you much, the main use case without the cable is Bluetooth. When you, for example, opening Ledger app on the phone and then want to authenticate transactions through the phone. But nevertheless, even without the Bluetooth functionality, it's still annoying when you have to use, you plug it in, you wait a moment until it's actually it boots up, and then you can use it. It's a little bit annoying because honestly, from something like that, you expect it to be a little bit more reliable than 2 years or like 3 years. And
I actually surprised that for such devices, just don't make a replaceable battery, like in a case for a car. Because what if like you lose it like in the middle of trip and you don't have way to charge it? It's kind of strange for me.
That is true, but my best guess, they actually introduce reliability in terms of physical harness versus anything else, because they needed it to be cheap And one way and another, this is a computer because it generates keys on the hardware. And this means that it has to has application, but application just in the sense a small app that knows how to generate key, knows how to sign.
Yeah, but if you think about car keys, they do the same. They generate keys constantly, so for encryption to communicate with a car. Obviously, maybe it's not that complex, but there's still some work there. And usually car keys has a battery.
True, but what I'm trying to say that if you damage your car, like your car keys, sorry, it's bad, but it's not as bad. So here, for example, they have a metallic case that is embedded in this thing, and I'm pretty sure I can drop it from any height and it will survive. So yeah, I don't want to try, but when you physically touching these things, you have this feeling that it was done with durability in mind first, everything else second. I don't know if it's true. That's a different thing.
Actually, a funny story. Like, I have one car that usually stays as a backup, and I don't use it often.
Okay.
And recently, when I actually went for Christmas tree, I wanted to use it because I didn't want to mess up with my current car. And key fob actually went out of battery. And they has a really cool, I don't know, is it like Mazda, all cars? I'm pretty sure all cars should have the same. But when key fob gets out of battery, the way you actually start a car, you touch metal part of a key fob to a ring around button, which is also metal. And it actually works as a condensator, so it actually charges your fob enough so it can actually communicate back to the car.
Which car? Remember, it's Toyota or your Tesla?
It's a Mazda CX-5.
Oh, Mazda, sorry, yes.
And it's such a nice design trick because I never saw this metal ring around button that actually functions. I saw just like, piece of design, right? It looks nice, but it's actually, if you touch a key, that's the way how you start car, because there's no way to put a key.
Got it, yes.
And I'm pretty sure all cars has similar, I just didn't know about that.
Man, I didn't know about that either. Yes. Interesting concept. Okay. How about, my friends, we're almost at hour. We end up here.
We can end up.
Two quick questions. One, why Firefox and not Google Chrome? If you folks look closely, you will see that while we do share Firefox, we share through the Google Chrome. You can see Google Chrome inside of the video. So it's one thing inside of another thing. And don't ask why. It's just weird setup. I just too lazy to figure out the better setup, and I'm pretty sure there is a better way. And then there was a question from the students, what are the New Year's presents to the students? Honestly, not yet much. I said we were working on the Refactoring Academy, but nothing I can tell you right now because Sergey is in charge. And I don't know which part will be released at all and in which sequence, by when. So please stay tuned, but some changes, positive mostly, are coming, but obviously cannot promise anything. It's just too early. There might be unfortunate changes, but hopefully mostly will be positive. But we'll see. Just stay tuned, and soon you will know. My friend, anything last topic or last message to our listeners?
Nope, not really.
Okay, with that, thank you everyone for joining us. Next week, same time, same place. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Okay, we're still live, but no longer on the recording. Thank you, folks. We still have 2 people watching. Yeah, thank you, folks. I will stop live now. So bye-bye.